We have waited absolutely months for this day and now it is finally here.
We have hit the road.
We're James and Sarah, also known as the Hold or Nothing.
After 6 years travelling the world, we traded in our backpacks, bought this old panel van and spent 5 months transforming her into Cassie, our dream home on wheels.
Make sure you've subscribed so you can join in the adventures as we hit the road and make the switch to full-time van life.
Now, as this is our first time leaving the drive since the latest lockdown, we've decided that we were going to be super responsible and do a coronavirus test, which is why we have come to this place. And if you can see that in the background, then it probably means that you don't have coronavirus either. If you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, it'll all be explained. Now, if you're watching this and you're British, then you'll probably know exactly who this it is, and therefore understand his association with this place. But for anyone that doesn't recognise Dominic Cummings, here's his backstory. He once held the lofty position of Chief Advisor to fellow Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, and during the peak of the pandemic in 2020, whilst believing he actually had coronavirus, decided to go for a drive, apparently to test that his eyesight was, well, good enough to drive. But instead of driving alone to a remote place to reduce the chances of his COVID-induced poor eyesight causing an accident, he chose to pack his kids and wife into his car and poodled off to this place, where he probably should have been going to this place. Understandably, the incident caused great uproar in the British press, and this overblown intro is all to say that the now infamous town seemed like the most fitting place to begin our first trip after living in lockdown for pretty much a year. Capiche? Morning.
Morning.
So last night was our first proper night in the van, and we didn't really film a great deal because we really just wanted it to ourselves. So
Yep.
we kind of kept the camera off and just did a few bits and pieces. We didn't do much, it was pretty relaxing in the end, and just chilled out.
Yeah, it was a really nice park up spot. Like really peaceful, no problems whatsoever. Both slept really, really well.
Yeah.
So we've woke up with the sun this morning, nice and refreshed, ready to start some adventures for the day.
Absolutely. So today we're going to go on a walk. Sarah's found a few walks nearby that look really good.
Yeah.
So this one it should take a few hours. I don't know how long it is.
I think it's 6.5 miles. So
There we
it's
go.
supposed to be like 3-4 hours, something like this. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Alright, so we just started our walk. It's a circular route from a village called Mickleton, and we're walking to another village called Rommeldkerk and then back again. It's over farmland, it goes kind of down the side of an old railway line, and yeah, there's loads of sheep around, loads of lambs because it's spring. It's quite flat. It looks really nice so far.
We've just discovered that we thought that we were doing different walks. So I thought we were doing one walk and Sarah thought we were doing the other one. So we've gone completely the wrong way.
We're going the wrong way, and he was like, no, this is definitely right, definitely right.
Thankfully, we've probably only gone a mile off course, so...
Yeah, but we've got to walk a mile back, so that's an extra 2 miles.
An extra 2 miles, yeah, that's all right. Keep us healthy. But we did just feel some rain, so that could get interesting. We're back on track now. It didn't rain, and in fact the sun's even come out, which is nice.
I need to get my sunglasses back out.
You do. And the scenery about now is looking pretty stunning.
So you got us lost again?
This isn't me, this is your route, thank you very much. But yeah, we're lost. But the map that we're using, Maps Me, says that this is the route, but there's just no way for us to get through. It looks like we're just going into someone's house in private land. But we're like just over a mile away from where we're trying to get to. You can virtually see it across there. It's just about figuring out how to actually get there.
So we found it. It was just a bit difficult to find.
Yeah, and Now there's nothing to actually walk across.
What do you mean?
It's broken.
Are you going to fall in? I don't think this is a well-walked path, is it, that we're doing?
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh, it's so well-walked that it's broken. And we're back. Oh, I'm ready for a sit down, you know.
Yeah, pretty tiring.
I think that might have been about 8 miles all in all, with the wrong turns.
We rounded off the day with a well-deserved pint, our first in an actual pub for over 6 months. Absolute bliss.
Morning!
Morning.
Our legs are aching. Well, my legs are aching a little bit today from those. What was it? 8 miles yesterday. I need to get used to it. I think we've not been walking that much for a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah. Today we are just out and about exploring a few more places. The sun's shining. It's such a lovely day. So yeah, we'll see what we can find.
So we're at Eggleston Hall Gardens, and over there is the actual hall. I don't think you can go in it because it has got a sign saying private, so I think the only option is to actually go to the gardens bit, which we're going to go and have a look at now. Really, this place is like a large garden centre, so I probably wouldn't recommend coming here as something to do in itself. Just as we were about to leave, we discovered a hidden chapel with its own graveyard. It was easily the most interesting part of the place and had graves dating back hundreds of years.
So this place is privately owned by a family called the Vane family. It's been in the same family for the last, I think it's 12 or 13 generations, and the guy that first owned it in the family was the Duke of Cleveland, who was massively involved in the slave trade in the Caribbean. So it's in the records that he received, I think it's about 4,500 and something pounds when slavery in the Caribbean was abolished, as his compensation for giving up 233 slaves, I think it was. So all the money in this place has been passed down through those generations in the same family. Yeah. Not sure what else to say about that. This is obviously not something that gels well with us.
Well, we've just given them 16 more quid as well because it's £8 a piece to get in. Anything else to say about it?
It's massive. Ben? Dinner? You. We've just popped by Raby Castle, which is a really old ruin. I think it's about 800 years old, something like that. And it's a ruin because it got destroyed in a number of battles in this area. And that's all we know really, but it's pretty cool. Check it out.
So we have just pulled up in our park up for the night. How are you feeling?
Really good. That's
Yeah.
my first bit of like tricky driving, I guess you could call it. Like some of those lanes were a bit narrow, like when the tractors came and the pheasants ran across and the
Yeah,
sheep.
they were really tight. But what about the scenery, eh?
It is absolutely bloody beautiful up
It's
here.
incredible. This is it for the night. Check that out. It's only the third or fourth morning of our van life adventure so far, And we've already developed this nice kind of morning routine where Sarah gets up with the sun and she'll go out and do some yoga and have a little wander round, and I stay in bed.
Is that our next park up then?
Yep.
How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, that's great. It's a bit secluded. There's some picnic benches outside as well, so probably going to go and have a cheeky beer whilst we watch the sunset and yeah, just settle down for the night.
Oh, there's no signal, so we can't do anything else.
No.
Who's on driving duty?
Well, I've driven all day, haven't I?
That is true, that is true. Okay, so you want a beer?
I'd love a beer, yeah.
Okay, I'll take a non-alcoholic then. Even though we are parked up for the night and we're not intending on moving anywhere else, because we're so new to this, we are still quite cautious of needing to move anywhere if we get moved on by the police or if we're parked somewhere that we shouldn't be or something. And neither of us like drinking at all if we're driving, so yeah, we always have a designated driver. We just have to do a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors sometimes as to who gets the beers of an evening and who doesn't.
So you actually getting up today?
Maybe. I'm just so cosy. It was a really nice sunset last night because it was over there, but because there's a massive hill on that side, we've not got any sun coming in yet. And yeah, I'm just enjoying being snuggly this morning.
Well, we've got a big adventure today, so you need to get up soon.
Alright, the instructions say, feel the gentle upland breeze and invigorate your spirits on this walk through the North Pennines area of outstanding national beauty. The route takes you along one of Britain's most spectacular rivers, the Tees, to the breathtaking High Force, England's largest waterfall.
Wonderful.
You ready?
Let's go. The park up that we stayed at last night was absolutely beautiful, stunning views and really nice spot, wasn't it?
Yeah, really great.
But the main reason why we actually stayed there was because it's just a couple of kilometres away from the walk that we're doing today. So we've arrived at the visitor centre. There's pretty much no one else there. There's a couple of cars, but we think they were for staff who work at the visitor centre. So that means that hopefully we're going to get these waterfalls all to ourselves.
Hopefully. We're first on the trail, I think. We've not seen anyone else.
Yeah.
And it's really early.
Sarah just said to me, can you fit? Quite rude, actually.
It's small. Look, you can't even go through that way.
It's not that small.
Jumping from cliffs so high.
Apparently the name Force is nothing to do with how powerful it is. It's actually just the old English name for waterfall, or fall, I think. That would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
So there's high force and low force. This is the smaller one, and next up we're going to head to the bigger one.
If I never figure out where the road goes.
You have to cross this bridge to get to the other part of the hike that we're doing. And I just noticed that it says on there, cross one person at a time. And it's a pretty tight bridge, but Sarah reckons that she knows why it says that. So go on, let's hear it.
I do, I know. Right, let's see if I can get this right. So the first bridge that was here was built not for tourists, anything like that. It was built for miners to cross to get to, I think it was a quarry where they were mining stone, I assume, because it before all the dry walls around here. Anyway, that's by the by. The first bridge, 3 miners were crossing it and it broke and they all fell in and one of them died. So it was quite a bad accident. And then they rebuilt the bridge. So I think this one's safer, but it's still been here like forever.
Well, it says on the sign that it's a grade 2 listed structure, so
Yeah.
that means it's pretty old.
It was one of the first suspension bridges in England, so that's why the sign is up to only be one person at a time, because there was that bad accident and also because it's really old.
Go on then, you can go first.
See you at the other side.
If I
From low force to high force is about a 1.5 mile walk, and we were just talking about how beautiful it is. It's probably one of the prettiest stretches of river that we've ever been on.
I think this is going to take longer than it normally would just to walk 1.5 miles though, you know.
I imagine it will, yeah.
Because there's all these little bits so we have to keep stopping. Well, we don't have to, but we want to keep stopping to look at them and take some photographs and stuff, because it's just so pretty. You can't just walk by.
Please turn me till the message plays.
Welcome to Moor House up at Teesdale National Nature Reserve. In front of you is one of the largest examples of juniper woodlands in England. Juniper has various growth forms, from tall and straight up to 4 metres high, to short, spreading and bushy.
Seems pretty cool, right?
That's wicked.
I just picked a berry off this because I thought, is that a juniper bush? I don't know. I don't know whether it's a bush or a tree, but either way, I picked a berry off it, and I've opened it up, and it just smells like gin. It's a juniper berry. It's delicious. It smells delicious. I'm not going to eat it. I imagine it tastes rank.
I think I can hear it.
Yeah, it's really loud, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh wow. Wow. This is the largest waterfall in England. I can't believe we've never heard of it until now, obviously. It's not the tallest. There's another one that has claim to that, but I think it's considered the largest because of its width and the amount of water that flows through it, something like that anyway. But yeah, the largest waterfall in England, can you believe it? Another interesting fact that I learned about when I was researching about this place is that in the winter it can freeze.
Well, the whole thing?
Yeah, apparently the flow just gets so much slower that it freezes.
I was just saying to Sarah that I think I actually prefer low force to high force, because even though high force is stunning, don't get me wrong, and you know it's got all the accolades, it's the most powerful, the highest, the biggest, or whatever it is that you said it was, I think that low force is even prettier. And then just as we were walking away from it, we met a hiker who was going in the opposite direction, and he said if you liked low force, then there's another waterfall that's about 10 minutes further on from where we are at high force, which is even more beautiful.
Yeah, he said in his opinion that's the best one, so we're going to go check that out.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head.
We think we found the other place, the other waterfall that guy just told us about. What do you reckon?
It's nice, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
I just looked on Maps.me and it said that it's called Bleebeck Force.
Sky is falling down.
What on earth is going on?
Wow!
Feels like we're being invaded. I've got a feeling that's our military.
I think so. They were like really low, but what are they doing? Do you think they're just practicing or
They
something?
must be. That was incredible. What a treat.
Anybody recognise this spot?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
We were just headed for a picnic spot that was on the instructions and on the map, and as we got closer we were like, oh, we know this. This is where we stayed last night.
It's exactly the same spot, and we're doing a circular walk, so we could have just got up, walked from here and been back at the same place and done exactly the same walk, but you live and you learn, eh? We keep coming across all of these derelict properties that look like this. So they're old farmhouses, we think, and they've kind of, I guess, fell into disrepair. They haven't got roofs on or anything like that, but the stone and the actual buildings still look incredible. What an opportunity that would be to buy one of them and do it up, eh?
Should we get one?
What do you reckon?
Maybe. We'd need a few quid though. But we did the van, you know. No reason we can't renovate something like that. So we thought we'd finish the walk. Well, we had finished the walk. We were back at the car park, but I spotted a sign for another footpath for something that I had earmarked that I wanted to see and didn't realise it was in this area. So we're just having a little walk to that now as well. This place behind us is called Summerhill Force and Gibson's Cave.
Summerhill Falls is the waterfall, and then behind it is the cave, which is called so apparently because a criminal called William Gibson from the 16th century, or in the 16th century, was hiding out here from the police behind the waterfall. There must have been more water at the time because, well, you'd be able to see him quite easily. Oh man, I am pooped. How many miles do you think that was?
I reckon it's probably about 10 miles.
It's a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a decent hike, and it was up and down as well. There's some pretty big climbs in that, so yeah. I'm not surprised that you pooped.
About 5 hours, wasn't it?
Solid day. So we made it. This is the park up for the night. What do you reckon?
It looks pretty good to me.
Shall we show him around?
Yep. I mean, there's not that much to show you really. But that's our view. Hey, who's on the beers tonight?
Yeah, me.
So are you alright?
I'm fine. I'm knackered. I'm really tired. But it's not just from today. I think it's the whole accumulation of the past 3 or 4 days where we've just been out and about doing stuff.
Yeah.
And our bodies aren't used to it.
No, I know. And adjusting to the new lifestyle of finding places to sleep and stuff. It's like mentally taxing as well.
It is, yeah. It's challenging physically and mentally. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still light outside. It's about, what, 8 o'clock?
No, it's 20 past 7.
20 past 7?
It's a bit early to go to bed.
We'll wait till 8 and then we can go to sleep if you want.
It is Friday night as well.
No. Rock and roll.
Absolute losers.
Morning.
Morning.
All packed up, we're ready?
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you want to say what we're doing today?
I haven't got a clue.
Been a nice little park up this, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been lovely. Really nice views, really quiet. Nothing around at all, no houses. Yeah, it's beautiful.
But time to move on.
Time to move on.
So we're going on another walk today. It's quite long. I think it's about 12 kilometres, something like that. And we're going to be going around 3 different reservoirs and to a place called Hannah's Meadow. But we will tell you more about that when we get there.
This is where we're starting our walk today, Balderhead Reservoir. Some nice parking just here. There's a sign that says you can actually park for £10 a night, so we'll decide later if we're going to do that or not. Should we go?
Yep, let's do it.
These little gates are so funny. Like, why do you think they have gates on? Do you think they're going to think the sheep's going to jump through?
They probably do.
Well, I don't know where the path goes now. These instructions that we're following are a bit rubbish, aren't they?
They generally are pretty bad.
They say like turn east, and you're like, what now? Where's that? This field is massive and I can't see a stile anywhere. Found it. The tiny little yellow sticker.
We've got some people looking at us funny from this house.
Feel some eyes on us.
Pretty nice house for them, really. We've just reached the top of the peak on the top of Coverston Moor, and the views are absolutely epic, so I think this is a good spot to have a little sit down, get a bit of rest after climbing that hill. Yeah, have a snack, a bit to drink, and then head on around the other side of the reservoirs. Well, this looks a little bit scary, doesn't it?
Yeah, we don't have to go in there, do we?
I hope not. How long did you say this walk was going to be?
I think it was between 3 and 4 hours, it said.
How long have we been walking?
Nearly 4 hours.
And how many miles have we got left? 3.5. Now this is probably one for our older viewers, but we've just entered a place called Hannah's Meadow.
Yeah.
Why is it called that?
Because back in the olden days, well I say the olden days, it's not that long ago, up until recently, so from the 60s up until about the 90s, there was a farmer called Hannah Hawkswell, I think she's called, and there's quite a few documentaries made about her life here. So the farm that she farmed didn't have any electricity or running water or anything like that. It was quite a harsh lifestyle that she lived, and she's famous for saying that in the summer she lived and in the winters she existed. So that kind of gives you an insight, I guess, as to how difficult a lifestyle it was. But there was loads of documentaries made on her. So they did like the first one about like her life on the farm and stuff, and then like the documentary makers took her to like New York and to London and like loads of big cities and stuff, because she'd never been anywhere like that.
She sounds like one of the original reality TV stars.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's kind of what they do these days, isn't it? Drop people in random places and see how they react.
Yeah, apparently she was a really cool character. She had like a proper personality.
Yeah.
Which is why obviously they went on to make different documentaries. I think there's 5 or 6. Like they're on YouTube supposedly, so we should have a look.
There she is, our home on wheels. So did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it. It's pretty epic. It's been about 5 hours.
Yeah.
In total. I mean, you can take at least an hour off because we stopped and photographed and filmed pretty much everything.
It's still a good 4 hours though, even for the average person.
Yeah, it's a substantial walk, but the scenery is well worth it. It's amazing.
So this is where we stayed last night, just set back off the road amongst the trees. Really pretty area. It's quite shaded, but it's really sunny now. So we're just about to head off. I was just going to say, who's driving, me or you?
Yeah, me. I was just chilling out in the passenger seat because it's sunny over there.
Alright, let's make a move.
Let's go. We actually started today's hike about half an hour ago, but we haven't got anywhere yet because, well, we set off without any water, assuming that we'd be walking along the river, and whilst we crossed the river we didn't find anywhere to actually fill up, so we had to go back to do that. And also Sarah wanted to go back to the van to get some hand gel, so yeah, we're about half an hour late already. So you got your stuff?
Yes.
Hand gel? What else you got there? It's like more than hand gel.
Well, even though we're outside, I didn't have a mask, so I got that. Got a hand gel, and then I've brought this just in case, even though we said we don't need it because our phones are fully charged. And then I thought I'd get some Snickers.
A load of Snickers. All the essentials.
Yep.
I've already got a heavy bag, thank you very much.
So that's Middleton over there where we've parked the van, and that's like the heart of Teesdale basically. It's what is the divider between Upper Teesdale and Lower Teesdale.
Hence the name Middletown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, smack bang in the middle.
There we go. And we've been going for what, 5 minutes now?
Yeah.
Since we actually set off proper.
Yeah.
And the views are really spectacular.
I know, right?
We are on top of a fell now, and you didn't tell me that first bit was all uphill.
I didn't know.
But the good thing is that when you walk uphill straight away, you know that you've got to go down to get back to where you came from. So yeah, it's all right that way round. But yeah, from here we can actually see the reservoir, which is the next part of the walk. So this is really cool. They've got a little tuck shop here where you can buy stuff. They've got sweets, they've got cans of drinks, we've got some flapjacks and stuff like that, but we haven't actually brought any money. So something that we haven't actually spoken about yet, but has been a really nice feature of our stay in Teesdale, has been how nice and friendly everyone that we've met has been.
Yeah, they've been really welcoming, haven't they?
They have,
like,
yeah.
A guy just opened a gate for us. Like, how often do you get that?
Just arrived at the reservoir. There's a nice picnic table which is overlooking it, so we're going to stop and eat our lunch.
This is what we started having quite often on our walks for our lunch. A wrap. We just bring all the ingredients and then make it when we stop for lunch.
Okay, so we've got to the other side of the dam and we've discovered a little problem. Footpath closed. What are we going to do?
I don't know, we're going to have to try and find a different route, but there's not that many footpaths around. You can't just go yonking over a field somewhere, you know?
Exactly. I mean, we think that the part of the footpath that we want to go along, for the most of it, is open. So we're going to try it, we're going to risk it, and then just try and find a different route when we get to the other end of the dam. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Or we can call an Uber.
We've just stepped into this field and all the sheep have started to come towards Sarah. It's a bit like, have you seen that film The Birds?
What happens?
The birds kill everyone. Right, well that's it for the video this week. We've had a great time in Teesdale. It's been really fantastic. There's loads of walking, loads of nature, the scenery is fantastic, so yeah, we'd highly recommend it.
It's been great, hasn't it? I've loved every second of it. Now we are heading north, like north, much further north. So we'll catch you when we get there.
See you then.